Alright guys, in this haircut tutorial, I'm gonna go in depth with every single step that I took to get this fade that I'm about to do for my client. His name is Sebastian. You guys can follow him on Instagram or Facebook. He does mixtapes and upload them to iCloud and pretty much any platform. So right here I got my wife holding up the camera. She's also, by the way, learning how to fade the proper way, or get a better understanding of how to fade good and without having to skip steps and going back over your work as much as other people do. So without further ado, my client had asked for mid fade and nothing off the top. So right here, as you guys can see, I'm gonna put my clips over his hair that's in the way. You always want to have your canvas, your sculpture, neat. So I'm gonna, like I said, I clipped his hair, got it out of the way from the fading process, spray my clippers, between each client. And this brush right here, I keep it disinfected. This is the only brush I use to touch the client's hair. I have another brush that I use especially for other stuff, such as cleaning my clippers or stuff like that. So as you guys can see right here, I'm showing my wife that I'm just gonna go and start on the very tip of the temple where the arch starts, and I'm asking right here the client if he wants like a U shape or a V shape in the back. And he's a client, he's been coming to me for over 5 months already, so he trusts me, and he said to just do my thing, so I'm gonna do like a V shape on him, and you guys will see that later. Right here, I'm just doing my guideline with my trimmers, my babyliss trimmers. I do recommend these trimmers, are very good. They cut like butter. And if you want to, you can modify them. If not, you can leave them just the same way they are out the box. All right. Alright guys, as you guys can see right here, I'm using my duster, my neck duster, to clean off all the hair. And I know you guys saw that I went ahead and cleaned all the little hair that was underneath my guideline with my trimmers. And the way that I did that was turning my trimmer upside down on the other side, and that helps you a lot. But right here, with everything going on with the COVID and everything, it makes it harder for us, as barbers, but we have to adapt to it because it might be the new thing for quite a bit. So I just take that earlobe off, and then just clean it up with the trimmer really good. And always, make it comfortable for you, and most importantly for your client. So I went ahead and cleaned off his neck, because it does get itchy. Little hair does get itchy. I'll do that. Right here, I'm just going over my whole thing, making sure that it's nice and neat. No hair is darker than the other side or anything like that, because that can misguide you on the whole haircut. You might think that you're messing up, but when you're really not. So again, I'm cleaning him around the ears. And then right here, as you guys saw, I had my shaver. That's the Andes shaver. You can get it for around 60-50 bucks on Amazon. I think they sell them at Sally's, but they go a little bit higher at Sally's for like 70 bucks or something like that. All right. And since he didn't really want it like down low, like scan, I was just showing you guys that I'm just gonna do it around the nape, and then on the sideburns, that's the only place I'm gonna use my shaver. And right here, I'm gonna jump into using my clippers, the clippers that I'm using on this video, and they're really the #1 hitters that I use in all my haircuts. Are the babyliss red FX clippers. These are limited edition, so I don't know if they still sell them, but if they do, they go around $199 to anywhere from $199 to around $250. If you find them cheap, or if you got a good connect, you could probably get them for $180, or yeah, $180. But that's if, you know. But I paid $199. I'm satisfied with them, and you know, they got everything they got is for a reason. So I'll do a video over the clippers and the trimmers, and also the shaver when I get a chance. But jumping back into the haircut, having my lever open, and I'm going about 1 inch up, and that's just so you guys can still see the guideline that I'm using. I'm still keeping it neat, you know, the same guideline that I did with my trimmers. That's the exact same guideline that I'm gonna do with my clippers. Alright, like I said, this brush is only for that client and the client's hair. And you know, if I'm doing a deep clean to my clippers, I'm gonna use a totally different brush, because you know, you don't wanna get that contaminated. So right there, I'm starting to close my clipper, and I'm gradually fading it into that zero line. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this. I'll take the same exact step on the other side. I gradually go down on my lever, and then eventually close it down so that I can fade into that zero line, so you guys can't see it. And that's what the fading process is. So I'm gonna skip this. I'm not gonna skip it, I'm gonna fast forward it, my bad. Alright guys, as you guys can see, I was fast forwarded because I know you guys are tired of hearing my voice. I get annoyed of it as well. So right here I'm jumping back into my trimmers, and I'm just going over a little small detail, because that small detail is what counts. It's what's going to separate you from the other barber in the neighborhood, or from the barbers that you see online. Just going in, doing that detail, mostly using my corner. If I'm not using my corner, I'm flickering it out. But right here, as you guys can see, you can't see that line anymore. It faded into the zero. That's with the clipper all the way closed. And with the trimmer, right here, I'm just going to use my blow dryer to air dry all that little hair that's around him and around the cape. And next step from here is going to be using my 0.5 guard. And it's if you have a wall or another clipper, it's probably going to be called the half guard. But I mean, 0.5 is the same. You go from 0.5 to 1 to 1.5 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. But in this haircut, we're only gonna go maybe all the way to the 4. So we start with the 0, with the double 0, and go all the way to the 4. That's maybe, sometimes you don't need to go with the 4. Sometimes you can just stop with the 3, as long as it's really good and it's faded. So right here, I'm doing the same process that I did with my level open. I'm using the 0.5 with the level open. Right there, you guys can see on this side. By the way, if you guys have any questions, leave it on the comments below. If it's something that I can't answer, I'm gonna find a way. So just work with me. And on the front of his hair didn't fall down straight. It went like diagonally to another side. So you have to adjust the way you're cutting so you can go against the hair. And take note that you're only going against the side hair. Don't touch the top hair. You have to know where the top hair starts and where the side hair ends, because you don't want to mess up your client's hair. Alright, so after I do the 0.5 open and the 0.5 closed to fade it out, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into my number 1 guard. And you guys can see that I got it open all the way. Go up about half an inch. I'm not going a full inch anymore. I'm going half an inch, because you want to have some area to work with. I'm gonna start with one side, and then I'm gonna show you on the other. Right here, where you guys can see, I'm just going flat with the clipper onto the skin. I'm not going like diagonally or tilting it a little bit, because I still have area to work with, Alright. I'm gonna do the other side same way. The 1 guard all the way open. And I'm gonna go ahead and close it and fade it into that 0.5. Everything you got, you fade it into whatever you just used. That's the whole fading process. You don't want the bottom hair to be higher than the top hair, or the side hair to be different than the other side. You want everything to match. So it's very important that you keep your guidelines neat as you go up, because you don't want to have a different haircut on one side and a different haircut on the other side. So right here, I'm just doing a little detail work, like I said. Went ahead and took my one guard off, and I just went ahead and used my clipper all the way open. And I'm gonna jump back into where I left off with my number 2, and it's also open, just so you guys can see where I'm fading in. This is totally for all the video purpose. When I'm doing a haircut, I'm not doing this because I already know how much the guard is gonna cut, how much the trimmer is gonna cut, and but this is totally for video purpose. I'm doing it open, close, open, close, open, close with almost every guard. And you guys can see from the beginning how he started to look a lot better than how he came in. But right here I'm showing you that I'm still keeping that same pattern that I used with the trimmers. I'm still going like in you could say a curved and then a V in the back. And this is a really nice haircut because the client has a small head, so it looks really, it makes the haircut and his hair on the top pop out, you know. Alright, you guys can see that V right there. I'm gonna go ahead and open my number 2 guard all the way, or from the beginning all the way to the back. Okay, close my guard all the way and fade it into that number 1. It still needs a little bit more fading, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into my 1.5 and fade that little area in between the 1 and the 2, so it can just look a little bit more faded. I don't know if you can actually see it through the video, but in person you can see the difference. You can see the difference the 1.5 makes. Not most of the times you need to use the 1.5, but on darker hair, you can see the fade, so you're gonna need those extra steps. Those extra steps make a big difference, so always make sure you incorporate those steps into your fade. Like I said, I'm gonna leave everything I used in the description below. I'm gonna show you that I used my babyliss red FX, my trimmer gold FX, and each guard that I used. I'm gonna tell you that I used from the 0.5 all the way to the number 3 guard, or you know, suggest the number 4 at the very end, you know. Now you can leave it right here, but this is an extra step for detail, you know. I care about my clients, so I want the best look that I can get for them. So I'm gonna get my comb, and I'm gonna get my number 4 guard right here, and I'm gonna start at the very back, take all that little bulk off the top. And this is so that the fade will look better too. Comb everything down, and the reason I'm combing everything down is so that you can see which hair goes down and which hair is it goes up with the top hair. Alright, and as you guys can see, I'm doing a flicker out motion right here. That's because I don't want to go too inside and mess up the whole haircut. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and close my lever. Remember guys, close, open, close, open. This is for beginners. If you've been barbering for a long time and you're trying to get into straight hair, or if you're trying to get into curly hair, you know, start off it like this too, from a beginner's point of view. use some of my water. And this is a mist bottle that you can get on Amazon as well for like around $8. It takes off like mist water instead of just dripping a whole bunch of water on a client and it seems like it's raining or something. But take my comb and my scissors. These right here are my thinning out scissors, so you can take some of that bulk off. What these scissors do is, like I said, it takes bulk off, but it also thins it out. It's a thinning out scissor, but it makes your fade pop out more. Because if you don't do this step, it's just gonna look like where you're fading up and then it stops. So you want everything to match, you know. Although the client didn't want nothing off the top, I'm doing this step because I know from my experience that it's gonna give them a better look, and the client's gonna appreciate it. But you guys can see that, you know. You guys can see the nice fade. You guys can go back to the very beginning of the video and see how he came in. And this is how he's gonna come out. So I'm just blowing it dry right here. The next step and final step after this would be, you know, making sure that any little hair is off the neck, around the ears, the arches, the sideburns. And then that's just checking over everything. You know, you're not really doing anything because you maybe already did it. But you can go ahead and unclip his cape. Take the neck strip off. Take all that little hair off. Notice how I got my cape too. So for any of you beginners, you know, you don't want to. There's a reason why that neck strip is there. You know, so it'll keep a separation between the neck strip and the cape. I'm gonna get my trimmers, disinfect them again, and I'm gonna jump into the edging process. Like I said, you know, just check out any work. Make sure you cleaned up everything real good. I'm gonna go ahead and do them sideburns, fade those sideburns into the whole haircut. No, this is an extra step that, you know, if you have facial hair, I faded into that facial hair. Even if you didn't pay for the facial hair and just for the haircut, you know, because that's how I take care of my clients. That's how they keep coming back to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip up all the hair in the top and brush his hair down. Make sure that I got all the hair I need for the edging on with me, and all the hair that goes up away, you know. Alright, and I'm gonna start from the middle and go on to the other side. One tip I can give new beginners, and I know some of you older barbers already do this, is for all my new beginners, you know, stay in front of where you're cutting. This might seem simple, but so I noticed it a lot, and I noticed it a lot in my shop, and I noticed it a lot in other videos too. But stay in front of where you're cutting. The reason to that is because if you're not right in front of it and you're not seeing where you're cutting, you can mess up the haircut. So whenever you're cutting, just stay in front of where you're cutting, and you're never gonna mess up. You might mess up, but you can fix it. You can always fix it. I learned that from experience. So and there's always gonna be somebody in your shop that's gonna know a little bit more. So if you do mess up, ain't nothing wrong with it for asking for help, you know. You guys can see I did my right side. I'm gonna jump into my left side. Do the same thing, brush the hair down, but make sure you're only brushing the hair that goes with the lineup. Don't brush the hair that goes up with his hair, because you can really mess up right there. The client's gonna be a little mad when he sees it. After 3 days, he's gonna be like, man, this grew up fast or something like that. So notice that I'm right in front of where I'm cutting, facing forward with it. Brush all that hair out the way. Then I'm gonna start on my very side, on my side temple. Since this was a mid fade and not a low fade, there's no arches that go with it. So if this would have been a low fade, there would have been a little arch with it, with the edge up, but it wasn't. It's kind of like the high fade. The high fade also doesn't use no arches. This right here is also another tip that some of you barbers might not be doing, but you can totally do this, and you're gonna surprise your client. He's gonna like it. He's gonna notice that nobody else does this, and it's taking that overlapping hair off his forehead. Cleaning it out good. Like, again, clean that same hair. Go ahead and take these clips off and show my client what we're working with. Make sure you check my Instagram page at Rivera's Barbershop. Rivera Blends is my personal. And peace.